Looking for financial insights you can trust?
How do you protect yourself as an investor? What's the strategy?
I think it's really simple. I think you just want to be diversified in your portfolio.
The Payne family brings real-world experience to every conversation.
Well, I think that's the problem right now is, right, a lot of people that are close to retirement, they're taking so much risks. And if we do get a big sell-off, it could derail their retirement.
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Say hello to the all-new Alexa Plus and see how Alexa can do so much more for you. Need tickets to see your favorite artist? Craving your comfort restaurant? Just sit back, relax, and talk naturally. Alexa's on it. It learns your style, anticipates what's next, and makes it happen across Echo, Fire TV, and more. Learn more at Amazon.com/new Alexa.
The Rita Cosby Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And tonight on the Rita Cosby Show, President Trump speaking just a few moments ago at the Hanukkah reception at the White House. He's had a whole bunch of ones taking place this week, saying that we will fight against Islamic extremism. We will battle against Islamic extremism. We will take this head on. A courageous sign of fighting. And you know, President Trump means business. A far cry from what happened in Australia. And it seems like it has taken days, at least, for the prime minister there of Australia to even say anything about Islamic extremism. In fact, his first statement didn't even mention Jewish, when the Jewish people were clearly the ones who were targeted. So many people killed there, so many people injured, 15 people killed, and dozens of the others injured. And yet the response was like, well, they sort of halfway kind of talked about Jewish. And the first thing he went to was gun control. You have to look at the individuals. Look at the cases we're talking about. Rob Reiner's son, he killed his parents with knives. This is a guy who was clearly mentally disturbed. And in the case, I believe, of Islamic extremism, they're well beyond mentally disturbed. They're deranged, and they are clearly on a mission to kill the Judaic population and others. And now we're finding out that in Australia, there was intel that was coming out ahead of time that an imminent attack was going to happen. And who better than the Israeli Mossad? Those guys are the best. Those are the ones who planned that incredible pager attack that, remember, took out all of those terrorists simultaneously around the globe. Those guys know how to do it. Nobody's better, I think, than the Israeli Mossad. So listen to what Michael Oren had to say. He is the former ambassador from Israel to the United States. And this is what he had to say. He was just in Australia, and he said he was shocked that they did not do more to prepare for something as horrific as what happened over the weekend.
I had been in Australia just several months ago. I was on Bondi Beach. I met with leaders of the Australian Jewish community, and they all told me the same thing. This was going to happen, that the Albanese government, a left-wing government, was doing nothing to prevent anti-Semitism in Australia, and that it was only a matter of time before the firebombing of synagogues, which had already occurred in Australia, would result in actual physical violence against Australian Jews. So this event was shocking, but it was not surprising. And I've traveled elsewhere in the Jewish world. Last week I was in Canada, and I heard very similar things from Canadian Jews about the Canadian government. These are governments, both the Canadian government and the Australian government, that recognized Palestine, gave a reward for terror for October 7th. That was a response to October 7th by giving the Palestinians recognition of statehood. We're appeasing their Muslim immigrant communities. And in Canada, too, I was shocked, John, to hear that Jewish people in Canada, these are very well-established communities, patriotic communities, said they can no longer send their children to public schools. I was shocked to hear that.
I mean, when you hear that they were that concerned, and yet, here we go. There's video, by the way, I think it's October 9th, 2023, and you see these extremists chanting F the Jews, marching all over the place. F the Jews. I mean, what did they do? They didn't do anything. They're waving the flags, F the Jews, marching all over where the prime minister's office is. and they allowed it to happen. Things like that are just despicable. Just despicable. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. And you are listening to The Rita Cosby Show. Let's go to Judith in Brooklyn on line 2. Go ahead, Judith. Your thoughts tonight.
Hi, Rita. I was calling for a while because I heard Yakin, right? He called. He said some lady, that's me, who called yesterday and he claimed 27 interpretations. No, I said 30 interpretations. And where did I get that from? From the History Channel and not from yesterday. I paid close attention. This goes back a few years, but I pay close attention after 9/11, like you keep your ears and eyes open. And I was very shocked. Now, this was from a German expert.
And by the way, Judith, I don't want to get into the history books. I appreciate you wanting to clarify whatever Joaquin said, but let's move on.
Okay.
All right. Do you have another point? Because I don't want to get into like 1912 history. I mean, there's so many things happening, but I hear what you're saying. It's the interpretation.
Let me explain something to you. I don't even know what else he said. Let me find my phone.
I actually don't want you to do that. I want you to move forward with what the news of the day is, because I heard what he said, and by the way, I thought his point. Okay, his point. Hang on one second, Judith. Hold on one second, just so people know, because you talked about it a little bit here. What he was saying was that he was hearing that only the Arabic interpretation is, I guess, what is viewed as sort of the correct interpretation. Your point is that there's a whole bunch of other ones. I'm not sure. Either way, I think it's fascinating, and I love you both. And I don't think he was necessarily disputing. He was just saying what he heard was something different. So, but either way, I think it's fascinating. If there are different interpretations, I think that's very interesting, and I can't wait to learn more. So I think we should all learn more about it because it's important. And I'm glad that you brought it up because that's important. So go ahead, Judith, next.
Well, I just want to say it is, you know what, this is something that's important now because take a look. It is worldwide now, Rita. This is a cancer. These radical extremist Islamists are all over the world, okay? And they are threatening and they're intimidating. And yeah, we should be afraid of them. Islamophobia is a phobia. We should fear them because they mean what they say. They will slaughter anyone. These, I said yesterday, were suicide people, and sure enough, today it was confirmed. They knew what they wanted to kill. But I want to tell you, the reason why I brought that up, I could bring up more stuff. But I got it from the History Channel. It's not from my head. And I got it from an expert. And let me tell you something. All right. You know what? I'll have to call you another night, okay?
Yeah. All right. Very emotional, Judith. Very, very emotional. All right. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. Let's see if Matt is less emotional in the Bronx. Go ahead. Line 4. Go ahead, Matt.
Well, I could see it how it's a situation and a topic that could easily arouse passionate feelings one way or the other.
By the way, Judith and Joaquin, I think it's both interesting. I don't think he was necessarily criticizing her. He just had heard something different, and it's about the different interpretations of the Quran. And I think it's interesting. I want to learn more because I actually don't know if there are more than one. I'm going to look it up because Judith brought up a great point, and I always love hearing from her. I always love hearing from Joaquin too. So go ahead, Matt.
Okay. So with the recent events in Bondi Beach, Australia, it just reminded me that Jews, not only in the United States, but also in Western Europe, in Australia, all across the Western world, have been some of the most eloquent and vociferous advocates of unrestricted third world massive immigration into those countries. And, I understand from their point of view, they see it as being a barrier or an insurance policy to prevent the rise of a white nationalist or which is a potentially anti-Semitic movement against that community, against their own community. But from the point of both the European majorities in those countries,
but also, Matt, let's also go to that. They want to be, and I think a lot of times their view is also not into necessarily the white national, but it is they wanted to be in an inclusive society. And because of what happened to the Jewish people, which is horrific through time. And, to me, when I look at what happened to the Judaic population, it's horrific. And that's why it's so important that we continue to draw attention to whenever you see hate elsewhere and you see these different protests. I think they don't want to see any group alienated. So I think sometimes they come in with good intentions and then look and see what happens. But there's a difference between good intentions and if you look at like I'll go back to what we're talking about currently, Anthony Albanese. I mean, you look at this guy, he is the prime minister here of Australia, and he goes right to gun control. And his whole thing was like, and then you hear that they didn't do anything. They had these horrific, protests that were out there shining these vile things. Nothing happened. You hear about there was bombings at a deli, a Jewish deli. There were cars lit on fire belonging to Jewish citizens. There were Jewish meetings that were interrupted by flamethrowers. I mean, there were all these different things that were going on in Australia, and he turned a blind eye to it. So guess what? These people felt emboldened. So you need to crack down on terror, and it needs to be loud and clear. And I think that's an important message. Don't you agree? Don't you agree, Matt? I mean, that to me, and that's what we're hearing from President Trump tonight. He spoke at the Hanukkah celebration. There's no gray with him. You know that he means business. He sent that message loud and clear to Iran. He's sending it to Venezuela now. And this mamsy-pamsy with terrorists does not work. And you got to vet who's in your country. You got to check who's in your country. And the fact that the son of one of these shooters, the shooter, remember, is this father-son duo, which is just remarkable too. And the son had ties to ISIS. And now finally today, Prime Minister comes out like it's breaking news, saying essentially that, there was some tie to the ISIS state. You think so? Because the son is from ISIS, and they had an ISIS flag in their car. I mean, this mamsy-pamsy approach is destroying countries, Matt. Your thoughts?
Well, I have to tell you that, there's a danger here, in the wake of the attack, that the Jewish community will say that, you definitely need to have anti-terrorist measures to prevent the attack from occurring. And I agree. But the one thing that you should not conflate Islamic terrorism with legitimate criticism of the Jewish community, of their support for open borders. They're denouncing your average garden variety white Americans who want to maintain a majority population that's recognizable to them.
Yeah, but Matt, now you sound like you're blaming the victim. I don't think their intentions at that moment were to have these Islamic extremists come in. I'm not going to go for that kind of going into a rabbit hole. That's especially given the attack that just happened in Australia. That's not the appropriate time to be throwing out this, they wanted this. Yeah, there are some in the Judaic faith. Look, there were some who voted for Mandani here in New York. I don't know how that happens when you look at his, in my belief, very anti-Semitic views. But I don't think I don't think when you talk about an open border supporter that they were necessarily expecting Islamic extremists to start opening fire like what happened in Australia, thousands of miles away. And what we have to be careful of in this country. I mean, look at that crazy guy that happened in Boulder who was lighting people on fire. I mean, that was just that was absolutely horrific. So I don't think that blaming the victim right now is not a very good thing. We could all wake up to making sure that we have safe, secure borders, but that's not the way to do it, Matt. But thank you. Interesting calls tonight, guys. Boy, real quick, let's go to Pete in Staten Island. Pete, your thoughts. On line 2. Go ahead, Pete. Your thoughts tonight.
Yeah, Rita, the terrorism that's going on, it's got to stop. And I mean, how do we stop it? We teach our kids in school to have a little compassion. They're taking everything out of the school, the Pledge of Allegiance, G.I. Joe, everything. It's totally, we have to speak up. We have to do the voting and put the right people in office. We got Donald Trump is great. But what's going around with these mayors and everything and these sanctuary cities, it's a mess. Yeah, I'm a nut when I go out on the street. I'm a warrior, but I'm getting afraid to go out because it's just getting so bad. People stabbing each other. We're having Rob Reiner. I don't care with his politics. As far as acting, it was great, but if you disagree with me, you disagree with me. But you don't go shooting somebody and kill him. I mean, Charlie Kirk, what they did to him, he was assassinated. That man, I could see 10 years down the line being the president of the United States the way he was going.
No, you know what? I agree with you, Pete. Things are getting out of hand and things are getting very dangerous. And that's why you really have to draw this clear line and have leaders who have law and order first and foremost in their minds. That is so important, and that is so incredibly pivotal. And so that, to me, you're right, it's a really scary premise when I am looking at the fact that people are turning to this horrific alternative. And you've got mental illness in this country, you got drugs. You have this permissive attitude towards hate, too. I look at even the young people, too, the lack of crackdown on college campuses, or some of the, presidents who tried to but then backed away from it. That's why moral clarity is needed more than ever. 1-800-848-9222. And everybody will continue your calls.
The Rita Cosby Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
This shrimp and coconut sauce is divine. What's your secret?
Goya coconut milk.
How does it taste so good?
It's all in that real coconut flavor and that rich, creamy texture.
What about thickeners and added sugars?
None. Just smooth, coconutty goodness.
What can I make with it?
From curries to sweet treats like coconut flan, the possibilities are endless.
Goya coconut milk. Take your cooking to the next level. No question about it. Find it in the Goya section of your local grocery store. If it's Goya, it has to be good.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. So Netflix is basically Santa this year. 2 NFL games on Christmas Day, streaming live. At 1 p.m. Eastern, it's Cowboys, Commanders. Then at 4:30, you've got Lions, Vikings. Midwest football, playoff stakes, and probably some snow. Watching holiday football is a tradition the whole family can enjoy. Open some gifts, grab some food, settle in, and watch NFL Live on Netflix this Christmas Day.
Looking for the perfect gift? Blink has you covered. With a Blink security camera, you're giving the gift of peace of mind.
A camera? Isn't that hard for them to set up?
It's simple to install anywhere, and they'll always know what's happening at home.
Okay, that's actually perfect.
Perfect indeed. Give the gift of smart security with Blink so they can check in on home from anywhere this holiday season. Shop now at Amazon.com/Blink.
So you want to start a business. You might think you need a team of people and fancy tech skills, but you don't. You just need GoDaddy Aero. I'm Walton Goggins, and as an actor, I'm an expert in looking like I know what I'm doing. GoDaddy Aero uses AI to create everything you need to grow a business. It'll make you a unique logo. It'll create a custom website. It'll write social posts for you and even set you up with a social media calendar. Get started at GoDaddy.com/Aero. That's GoDaddy.com/AIRO.
This is the Rita Cosby Show.
And let's continue with your calls, guys. 1-800-848-9222. Let's go to Robert in Philly on line 4. Go ahead, Robert, your thoughts.
Hi, Rita. As always, it's good to talk to you. I think there's 2 reasons for this problem that we're facing with the Islamic violence threat. Okay, the first is, while I do have friends who are Muslim who seem fine to me, I haven't heard one mullah, I haven't heard one imam, I haven't heard one Arab statesman, I haven't heard one Arab diplomat at the UN condemn what was done. I'm going to get cut short, aren't I?
No, you know what? Hold on, Robert. Can you hold on? I'll go to a break because you're making a great point. And I 100% agree with you. Their silence is deafening. They should be out there pounding their fists and saying, this is not peaceful Islam. We condemn this.
The Rita Cosby Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Carvana lets you buy your next car on your terms. Explore a massive inventory online, filter for what matters, and find your perfect match. Then choose delivery to your home or pick it up at one of Carvana's iconic car vending machines. Every car also comes with a 7-day money-back guarantee, so you can make sure it's the right fit. Buy your car on Carvana. Delivery or pickup fees may apply. Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.
Carvana. Adobe Acrobat Studio, so brand new. Show me all the things PDFs can do. Do your work with ease and speed. PDF Spaces is all you need. Do hours of research in an instant with key insights from an AI assistant. Pick a template with a click. Now your prezzo looks super slick. Close that deal? Yeah, you won. Do that, doing that, did that, done. Now you can do that with Acrobat. Now you can do that with the all-new Acrobat. It's time to do your best work with the all-new Adobe Acrobat Studio.
Okay, only 10 more presents to wrap. You're almost at the finish line. But first... there, the last one. Enjoy a Coca-Cola for a pause that refreshes.
This episode is brought to you by McAfee.
I got a message that our flight was canceled. But they can put us on another flight, and we just need to confirm our credit card info.
Wait, I got a security alert from McAfee. It flagged that message as a scam.
McAfee's scam detector automatically spots and alerts you to suspicious texts, emails, and deepfake videos. Learn more at McAfee.com/online protection.
Rita Cosby is on.
Let's go back to Robert. Line 4. Robert in Philly. Continue. Go ahead, Robert.
Sure, no problem, and I really appreciate it, Rita. But so we have the problem with the Islamists that I don't think is going to get better. I think it's going to get worse, unfortunately. But the other part of this problem is the leftists who keep letting them in and telling us that if we complain about what they do, we're Islamophobes. No matter what country, it's the left. They are the biggest enemy to this country. The only reason we have problems with China and the Islamists is because of them. We'd be able to deal with these problems much easier if we didn't have these people covering for them and lying about what's going on because they don't want to blow up their narrative. Going back to that school massacre in Nashville, anything that comes out that they don't like, they bury it, man, and it's criminal to me. You know what I mean?
And by the way, if it turns out that, like in the Brown University case, we don't know, Robert, but there are these reports that the guy shouted Allah Akbar. I mean, if that's the case, we need to know. And you're right. This being PC is not working, and there are a lot of good Muslims out there. They got to start standing up. I think that they're worried about being retaliated against. Yep. By the way, tomorrow we're going to have on Dr. Zuhdi Jasser on Katz and Cosby. I hope everybody tunes in because he's one of the few Muslims who's out there speaking out. So definitely tune in, and let's talk tomorrow night, Robert. Let me know what you think about that, because he's one of the few ones who is speaking out. And you're right. It shouldn't be a lone voice in the wilderness. Good people need to stand together no matter their race, color, creed. 100%. Robert, you're terrific. Thank you very, very much. Let's go to Larry in Brooklyn. Line 1. Go ahead, Larry.
Yeah. Hi, Rita. You just mentioned Brown, I could see if that shooter did scream Allah Akbar, I could see a place like Brown University covering up for that because their leftism is more sacrosanct to them than the lives of the two students. They wouldn't want to expose that. That is the most leftist school perhaps in the entire country, Brown University. And
yeah,
so
by the way, and these people, they may be covering up. They also may be clueless, Larry. I mean, and both of those are dangerous combinations. The fact that they don't know where, they don't have better video. It seems like some of the best stuff has come from a neighbor's Ring cam. I mean, isn't that astounding? They have an $8 billion endowment. You spend $70,000 a year, and that's the best they got? Are you kidding me?
Well, because the reason is because the left is the one that perpetrates the violence, and they have that on their conscience. So they think that they're very low risk because nobody's going to perpetrate violence against them because they're the left. You see what I'm saying? They're the ones that perpetrate violence on the right, hence the lack of preparedness. And ineptitude and cluelessness. You're right. Maybe they just think that they will not be a target, which is a sad state of affairs. If they think that, they can walk around vulnerable because they have the right political persuasion. That's a sad place to be, but you may be right in some ways, Larry. Thank you very, very much. And you guys also, other news tonight as we're looking at all this craziness, Zoran Mandani, the mayor-elect, has tapped a very interesting person. He has tapped a very controversial lawyer who defended, yes, an al-Qaeda terrorist and also a very radical anti-Israel campus leader, Mahmoud Khalil. That is the guy who was leading all those pro-Palestinian marches and all that other stuff on campus, where they were passing out pro-Hamas flyers and all that other stuff. There are reports that guy, that attorney, is going to be in a very key position, sort of the top candidate right now for chief counsel. He is being considered for that. He's also a member of his transition team for legal affairs. And as I mentioned, he defended Mahmoud Khalil, who is a pro-Palestinian encampment leader, as we know, at Columbia University. We remember that guy, of course, who was screaming and shouting all those anti-Israel vile things. And then he also helped defend terrorist Ahmed al-Darbi, who is an al-Qaeda member who was convicted in 2017 of bombing a French oil tanker off the coast of Yemen. So it sounds like a really nice guy. He has some really interesting clients. And that's who he's going to put down as his chief counsel. Is he going to be defending the people who maybe break into Macy's like they did during the Black Lives Matter time? Is that what's ahead? That's scary stuff, guys. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. And here's a little bit of Zoran Mandani. Let's not forget, 3 months before the October 7th massacre, here's what he was saying.
So who is ready to end the exception? I want to hear you say, not on our dime! Not on our dime! Not on our dime!
Not on our dime. We don't want to spend any money for anything tied to Israel. And then here is Hassan Piker. He was at the Mandani headquarters. And let's not forget, this is the same guy who was saying that America deserved 9/11 at one point. Listen to this.
Done.
What do you think it means that this guy ran as a socialist and anti-communism didn't work to stop him? That's big.
Yeah, I think we are in the heart of the imperial core. This is the country that defeated the USSR, unfortunately. And the reality of the matter is, there's a lot of antagonism. There's no class consciousness in the United States of America. It's one of the things I try to address every day with my commentary. And I will say this. The conditions have deteriorated so much that everyday Americans, in spite of their lack of class consciousness, are finally arriving at the conclusion that perhaps there is an alternative out there. There is an alternative that focuses on them as opposed to the interests of the billionaires and the millionaires, as opposed to the interests of the capital owners. And, I mean, you can't help but notice that. You can't help but feel at least a little bit of excitement around that.
Excitement that this country defeated the USSR, unfortunately. He was upset that we defeated the USSR. I guess he thinks we should all be in a gulag somewhere, you know? So here's a little bit more from Hassan Piker. Here's where he said America deserved 9/11. What a wonderful thing.
America deserved 9/11, dude. I'm saying it. Like, we totally brought it on ourselves, dude. Holy we did. We did.
And this is who Zoran Mandani is hanging around with. Very scary, very interesting stuff to think about and what's ahead as we see what's been happening around the globe and tensions high, people taking positions to an extreme degree, people creating violence, people, I believe, inciting violence too. Really scary. What's the role of politicians? What's the role of social media influencers? It is a scary, scary time, I think, and a deeply concerning time. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. Let's go to Steve in Brooklyn. Go ahead, Steve. Your thoughts tonight. Line 3.
Final exam preparation session where all the students have their laptops and they're listening to lecturers, so the microphones were all on when the shooter shot. And therefore, why aren't they collecting all of the student laptops to hear the voice of what the guy was saying instead of speculating?
Oh, that's it. Well, we don't. How do you know the laptops were all on?
Because all students take notes on computers now, or their cell phones. There's no longer written notebooks.
Oh, that's
an
interesting point. That's a very interesting point. So, in other words,
somebody recorded it in either dozens or maybe hundreds because it was a big lecture hall. And the other thing is about Brown. Like all the other Ivy Leagues, they take a huge amount of donations for their. For the entire monetary income each year from the Arab countries, including Qatar.
Well, that's
Every
what you
one
have
of the
to
Ivy
wonder.
Leagues has been implicated.
No, big money. From a lot of different places. China too.
Do we really think that they're going to risk losing all their money, especially after the federal government has taken away money from Columbia and Harvard and Penn? Do we really think that they're going to risk losing the money from the royal couple of Qatar, who have also supported Mandani, by the way, in order just to defend those good-for-nothing Jews, as they would say it? It's ridiculous. The whole thing is corrupt, and that's the reason they're being they're playing possum and pretending on every issue here.
But the details are definitely going to come out at some point, Steve. There is no doubt about it.
We have recorded sound of whoever the shooter was. Why doesn't everyone understand that? Every student takes their notes on laptops now.
Yeah, no, by the way, that is a superb and important point because you're right. If that's the way, and it's funny, since I've been in school, we didn't do it back then. But that's a very good point. And then you would be able to hear the individual as well. So why not put it out for a whole bunch of different reasons? Steve, thank you very, very much. Great points. And I think at some point we're going to hear all these details. And the question is, why are we not hearing it now? Why are they waiting? Let's go, if we can. Let's go to Liza in Florida. Go ahead, Liza. Your thoughts on line 1.
Oh, it's Liz. Hi.
Sorry, Liz. Go ahead, Liz. Sorry about that.
Okay.
I was told Liza,
okay.
but go ahead,
Right.
Liz.
Hi, Rita. Okay, this is bad. We have an emergency situation, not only in our country, but in the entire world. We have a new war inside our country, and this is my thoughts. We need a new law. In order to be in government, in any office, you have to be American-born, pro-American, pro-Israel, pro-Democrat. If you are anti-American, you cannot run for any office. If you're anti-black, anti-Christian, anti-Jewish, anti-Israel, you can't be in any American government office. That's what this new emergency law should look like. We need to stop terrorism and stop leaders promoting terrorism. If you don't love this country, you can't be a part of it, plain and simple.
I agree. It just needs to be clear sort of what are those guidelines. But I think, you know hate pretty much when you see it. And what I like about what you're saying is it's for everybody. I mean, obviously, I am deeply worried about the Jewish people, but I'm worried about everybody. And you can't be preaching hate against any particular group. And if you are out there espousing it, that's how it should be written. Literally, if you are espousing hate towards any group, any individual, if you have social media or certain things, I agree. You should not be able, first of all, you shouldn't be able to run for office. That to me is also, I actually think there needs to be a higher standard, don't you, Liz, than for the average individual. First of all, I think to come into this country. If there's anything in your background, whether it's on social media or something else, you shouldn't be allowed to come here. Or if you do something, it should be revoked immediately. That's one thing. To run for office, I think you should have an even higher standard because people look up to politicians and they see these people preaching hate. What message does that send to other people that this person got elected? They're able to preach hate. They're able to sneak a illegal immigrant out the back door of a courthouse or something like that. And they're still there. That's not a good thing. So it's deeply important. And I think politicians need to have a way bigger standard, a way bigger caliber, a way bigger level. And that is the bottom line. And I think we should throw the book at politicians. Don't you, Liz? I mean, I think it's time we got to get tough. When you have these people out there that are inciting other people or telling them to block law enforcement or calling law enforcement Gestapo, there should be some serious repercussions. What do you think?
I totally agree with you. There should be a higher standard. And you know what? It's easy to find with the internet today who they really are. And they're going to say it. They don't care. It's not the American way. So I totally agree.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Liz, thank you very much. It's really great to hear from you. Have a good night, and let's fight for fairness in this country for everybody. Bravo, bravo, bravo. Everybody, we're going to continue your calls after the break. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. But first, support our heroes.
The Rita Cosby Show presents Support Our Heroes.
And this is the Tunnel to Towers Foundation Support Our Heroes segment with a very powerful story coming from Indiana, where 17 Vietnam War veterans were inducted into the Indiana Military Veterans Hall of Fame this past month. This by the way, this year marks the 12th year, and they've had a total of about 200 inductees. One of those honored was naval veteran Alford, and he is now 82 years old. He served in 2 deployments on the aircraft carrier USS Coral Sea during the Vietnam War. He earned 2 Navy Unit Commendation Medals, the Vietnam Campaign Medal, the Vietnam Service Medal, and the National Defense Medal. He said he was deeply humbled to be able to be recognized, especially being part of the Vietnam War. He said, we weren't always recognized and appreciated, so to be a part of this will be never, ever forgotten. And bravo to him and all of our great Vietnam veterans. To all of you, we love you and appreciate you here on the Rita Cosby Show, you and your families, and welcome home. We send a big tribute out to our great Vietnam veterans. And everybody, America's heroes need your help. And what better way to do it than to help the Tunnel to Towers Foundation this holiday season? It is the best way to give back. Donate just $11 a month to the incredible Tunnel to Towers Foundation at T2T.org, the number 2T.org.
The Rita Cosby Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
This is Charlie. He's my part rescue dog, part whirlwind. Half of his breakfast always ends up on the floor. And he leaves fur everywhere. That's why I grabbed the Bissell Power Clean Fur Finder. It's cordless, powerful, and actually finds fur you don't even see. If you've got a pet like Charlie, you've got fur everywhere. The Power Clean Fur Finder gets that. Discover how Power Clean Fur Finder makes pet cleanups effortless at Bissell.com.
REI Co-op presents a perfect outdoor moment with the perfect gift. Picture this. You're ripping with your favorite person. Bluebird skies, blower powder, and frankly, you're skiing like legends.
So sick. Another lap?
Thanks to REI's curation, from lid to sticks, you nailed the gift.
No way. How'd you know?
Does it get more perfect than that? Give without guessing. Shop in store or visit REI.com.
At IKEA, your dreams can come true. Well, maybe not the ones where you're being chased by a monster. We're talking about kitchen dreams. And there are IKEA products and solutions for all of them. Whether it's a whole new kitchen, a statement glassware set, or just new cutlery. If you got big dreams or small dreams in any size of budget, IKEA can help you bring them to life. Visit IKEA.us/Dream Kitchen to learn more. Dream the possibilities.
¿Hablas español?
Sprichst du Deutsch?
Kann du Norsk?
If you used Babbel, you would. Babbel's conversation-based techniques teaches you useful words and phrases to get you speaking quickly about the things you actually talk about in the real world, with lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts and voiced by real native speakers. Babbel is like having a private tutor in your pocket. Start speaking with Babbel today. Get up to 55% off your Babbel subscription right now at babbel.com/Spotify. Spelled BABBEL.com/Spotify. Rules and restrictions may apply.
It's the Rita Cosby Show.
Everybody coming up, by the way, we have a big event coming up on December 20th. It is Home for the Holidays with Mr. Christmas, Vinny Madunio. He is live from Studio 77 right here in the heart of New York City. Get ready to slay your night away with live performances, some ugly sweaters and some good-looking ones, and also jolly friends. It is Mr. Christmas, Vinny Madunio. He is singing your holiday favorites live in concert December 20th at WABC Studios, and be sure to check it out. For more information and tickets, go to homefortheholidays2025.com. It's Mr. Christmas, Vinny Madunio, live in concert from WABC headquarters and Studio 77. That is homefortheholidays2025.com. And let's go to Nick in Virginia, line 2. Go ahead, Nick, your thoughts tonight.
Rita, the Democrats are trying to paint Pete Hegseth as a war criminal and maybe charge him after they get, their people in office. But they didn't have any sympathy for the Jewish couple that was murdered here by the jihadist in Washington, D.C., where he slow killed the woman. She was crawling away, crying and begging for her life. And I didn't hear the media and the Democrats have anything to say about that.
Well, and Nick, by the way, they did talk about it, but you're right. They should have talked about it more. And that was so horrific outside the consulate. I remember there were 2 consulate workers going to that event. The other thing too, Nick, you brought up also, they called the shooting of the National Guard, including, of course, Sarah, who was killed, the National Guard troop, an unfortunate accident. There's no accident.
Thanks for listening to The Rita Cosby Show. You can hear The Rita Cosby Show weeknights at 10 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Take my word for it. I live there. Come to Florida. Get pre-approved right now with my guy, Michael Kotze. Call him at 561-441-2730. He's got Choice Mortgage and a great real estate team. Get pre-approved right now. Michael Kotze, 561-441-2730. Buy in Florida right now. Don't wait. Save money on state taxes. Make your move today with Choice Mortgage. Trust me, Florida is waiting. This guy's so good, he did my commercials in Florida, too. Mike Kotze, 561-441-2730. Arrive.